Have you ever wondered if what you eat has any effect on your mental health? Well, my name is Rachel, and I'm a certified health coach and herbalist, and today let's explore how nutrition affects your mental health. The world of mental health is one that is so unique and intricate that scientists are still trying to fully understand it. So many conditions that have to do with mental health are becoming huge issues today, including things like ADHD, anxiety, and depression. Even when it hasn't gotten to that point, there are many people that struggle with focus or brain fog or concentration. When looking at mental health, many scientists recognize that there are thousands of chemicals and nutrients involved in the health of our brains, but they typically target in on a few very important neurotransmitters called dopamine, norepinephrine, and the main one, serotonin. Serotonin works by helping the cells talk to each other by carrying signals between the brain cells. It affects many areas of the body, mental and physical, but keying in on the mental benefits, it helps with mood, memory, and focus, just to name a few. Studies show that serotonin helps people feel calmer, less anxious, and just more emotionally stable. So first, let's take a quick look at serotonin in the body. 90% of serotonin is produced in the gut, while the other 10% is made in the brain. The body creates serotonin through the help of an amino acid called tryptophan. And after the serotonin has done its job, the cells reabsorb and recycle the used serotonin. This is called reuptake, and more serotonin cannot be made until the old serotonin has been recycled. Because serotonin plays such an important role in mood health, many scientists feel that depression implies a lack of serotonin in the brain, even though they actually can't measure those specific levels. There are multiple possibilities for why this would happen though, including the body not having the nutrients it needs to make enough serotonin, it may not be able to use it properly, or the receptors on the cells could be clogged, blocking the messages from coming through. The most common approach to treating these disorders are medications, the most common ones being SSRIs and SNRIs. SSRIs work by blocking the reuptake process of serotonin in the brain. The idea is that the person would feel happier if more serotonin is circulating around in the brain. The medications block the cells from reabsorbing the old serotonin with the idea that if it circulates longer, it gives the illusion of there being more serotonin in the brain. This can cause some problems though. First, this can actually diminish the body's ability to make more serotonin. Remember, it first needs to recycle the old before making new, so without being able to do this, it may stop creating more. Second, too much serotonin circulating in the body can lead to serotonin syndrome. This can cause things such as muscle twitching, nausea, high blood pressure, loss of bone density, seizures, and even death. On top of that, many specialists estimate that SSRIs and SNRIs only have a success rate of about 50 to 65%. Oftentimes, the drugs have to be changed or increased because they stop working, and the list of potential side effects is a long one. In summary, they mask the symptoms rather than curing the disease and have the potential to cause a whole lot of problems in the process. Now, I have to interject here. If you are currently on any type of medication, please do not just quit. These types of medications create dependency, meaning you can go into withdrawal symptoms if you quit, and these can be dangerous too. Finding a doctor that's willing to work with you though to support you in making healthier choices and slowly wean you off the medications is the safest way to get off of them. So back to the topic. Now, the big question we're asking is, does nutrition have an effect on mental health? And it really does. Our bodies and minds are pretty amazing creations, and they can heal a lot more than we might think if we give them the right tools. This is where nutrition comes in. When you look specifically at the areas that directly affect mental health and how nutrition, or the lack thereof, can affect those areas, you can begin to see how critical good food is to the health of your mind, starting with serotonin. Tryptophan is something that our bodies don't make on their own and comes from the food we eat. Tryptophan is found in protein sources including dairy, turkey and chicken, tuna, oats, nuts, and seeds. Once you have the building blocks to serotonin, we need to move on to the factory where serotonin is made, the main one being the gut. Gut health is a hot topic, and for good reason. Found within the walls of our gut is our enteric nervous system, or ENS. The ENS is embedded in the lining of our gut and has hundreds of millions of cells working in it. In fact, it is the only part of the body that has almost as many nerves as the brain, and its neural pathways connect directly to the brain, with each having an effect on the other. A lot of the foods that are commonly consumed in America literally work against the health of our gut. This includes high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, artificial sweeteners, foods containing antibiotics such as commercially processed meats, and refined flours. These actually work to break down the amazing world of bacteria that works to keep our gut healthy, which in turn hurts our minds. On the flip side, there are foods that help to make a happy, healthy gut. These foods help to encourage healthy bacteria growth, as well as keeping the gut strong and giving the body a healthy digestive process. These happy gut foods include probiotic-rich foods such as yogurt, kombucha, and kefir, garlic, oats, asparagus, whole grains, onions, artichokes, nuts and seeds, fruit with the peels on, and lean protein. Now that we've taken a peek at the gut, let's follow the enteric nervous system straight up to the brain. The brain itself is made up of 60% fat and is an intricate maze of nerve cells and chemical reactions. The brain is the main communication center of the body and contains the areas that work to control mood, memory, and emotions. The brain actually burns about 25% of the food energy we consume, and it's actually the organ that is the most affected by what we eat. To start with, the brain needs fats to flourish. It uses fats to make cell membranes, which is a filter on the brain cell that lets good stuff in and keeps bad stuff out. Fat also helps to build the structural and functional components of the brain cells and can even help to regrow new brain cells. Fat also helps to make myelin, which insulates the nerve cells, allowing healthy transmission of nerve impulses, making it possible for messages to travel. Fat is also necessary to process certain vitamins that the brain needs to work optimally, including vitamin E and vitamin D. The cell membrane actually has little fat receptors on it that are made to just perfectly fit the right fats. Now, the key to all this, though, is that the brain needs the right fats. Hydrogenated oils, such as those typically found in processed foods, are highly consumed in the US, and these and other unhealthy oils work against the health of our brain. This includes canola oil, soybean oil, margarine, and shortening. These bad fats can do a whole lot of damage. These fats don't fit into the little receptors on the cells, but instead cover them, which clogs the cell membrane, blocking the signals from getting through. Because it's not a healthy fat that the brain can even use, the cells don't get the nutrients they need to function properly. They are then vulnerable to more bad things. The body can't use these fats to rebuild myelin either, which means the nerve cells can get frayed and worn, weakening the ability of the nerves to transport messages. On the other hand, healthy fats include things such as olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, and most of all, omega-3s. These are what the brain needs to survive. These healthy fats fit just right into those little receptors to protect, rebuild, and nourish the cell. It's also just what we need to create and rebuild myelin, allowing message transmissions to travel at optimum speed, allowing communication in the nerves to work at its finest. Carbohydrates is another nutrient that the brain needs. Glucose is created in our body from the carbs we eat, and it is the brain's primary source of fuel. The brain needs its supply of glucose to be steady in order to function at optimal levels. So once again, it's all about the right carb diet. A low carb diet is actually not good for the body because it doesn't give our bodies enough fuel. However, a bad carb diet isn't good either. Bad carbs include things such as sugar, white flour, and white rice. These carbs are majorly lacking in nutrients such as fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and because of this, our bodies burn them really quickly, causing a spike of glucose and then a fast drop. This creates highs and lows in the fuel our brain gets, making it starved and stressed. Ever heard the term hangry? It's a real thing because these frequent fluctuations in blood sugar have actually been linked to anxiety, depression, and bad moods. Right carbs include whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and dairy products. These are so full of nutrients, fiber, and protein that our bodies take longer to process them, giving the body and brain a steady supply of energy. This helps to nourish our body and give us that steady level of energy that helps keep our brain healthy and happy. Protein is another nutrient that the brain needs too, and not just to make serotonin. Protein helps to repair and rebuild tissue, helps to steady blood sugar, and helps with hormones and neurotransmitters. High-quality proteins are considered such because they include all 9 amino acids in proper amounts and includes chicken, fish, eggs, dairy, beef, and whey protein. Lower quality proteins are still good, but in order to get what the body needs, they need to be consumed in larger quantities and in a wide variety, and include things like grains, nuts, seeds, vegetables, fruits, and legumes. Another way that the brain is really prone to damage is through inflammation, and the main source of inflammation is through a poor diet. Because many of the products we consume today are not typically even recognized by the body as food, it tries to get rid of it by attacking it. This causes inflammation, and if we continue to feed our bodies these products, the inflammation can get out of control. This can cause inflammation in the brain as well, leading to oxidative stress, which is kind of like the brain starting to rust. Eating a real food diet can help to keep inflammation down, and we can give ourselves an even bigger boost by making sure to include foods high in antioxidants to fight the inflammation and rust. There are lots of foods that are anti-inflammatory, and one of the best ones is actually blueberries. Not only are blueberries super high in antioxidants that can help to protect the brain from oxidative stress, but they can also help transmit messages from cells, increase dopamine, and help fight inflammation itself. One other negative product to look at are little things called excitotoxins. Excitotoxins come from additives we put in our food and are extremely bad for the health of our minds. These little troublemakers overexcite the cells in our brains to the point of death. Kind of like if you overloaded an electric breaker to the point that it blows. They alter the chemistry of the brain, damage the energy center of the brain cell, and throw neurotransmitter activity out of balance. Not only that, but they can actually store in the healthy tissues of the brain to cause continuing damage. These excitotoxins include artificial sweeteners, MSG, artificial flavors, and artificial food dyes. I really think that the most overlooked thing in modern day healthcare is nutrition, and yet it seems to be the most basic and vital link to wellness, and this includes mental health. I think it's sad that oftentimes we don't empower people to actually get better, but instead medicate them with the hopes they will simply survive. Taking action can be hard, especially if you're already struggling with things such as mood or fatigue. But know that even small steps are steps that move you in the right direction, and that you are cherished by God and totally worth the efforts. So in summary, the greatest food enemies of your mental health include hydrogenated fats, corn syrup, highly processed foods, unhealthy carbs, sweetened beverages, and excitotoxins. Foods that are your mental health allies include green leafy vegetables, blueberries, fatty fish, turkey, healthy fats, whole grains, nuts and seeds, berries, cheese, healthy protein, probiotics, fermented foods, beans, grass-fed dairy, fruits, and veggies. The struggle is real, but the fight for our health is totally worth it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all our wellness videos.